In the grim dark future, there is only war, and war never changes. Slaying greenskins, necrons, cultists, and demons of chaos, it's all the same. We must save the Commonwealth. I must become a space marine in Fallout 4, and this is how I'll do it. Now, look, I can prance around in sexy space marine armor afforded by mods, but before we go denying the sacred Fallout canon, inciting an inquisition against us, let us first see how we can best emulate the experience of a Warhammer 40k space marine without mods, lest we displease the vanilla vanguard. First things first, we make our war-hardened muscle man molded to perfection with holy gene seed in the terror toilet labs of Suburban Sanctuary. We undergo rigorous psychological assessment, resulting in a special score of 4 strength, 1 perception, 10 endurance, 1 charisma, 9 intelligence, 2 agility, and 1 luck. Baby, nuke, vault, epic sunshine. And we are out into the wasteland, the crucible in which we will craft a superhuman soldier zealously devoted to the cause. Which cause, you ask? Well, we don't know just yet, but spoiler alert, it's going to be the Brotherhood of Steel, the faction that is clearly the best analogue for the Imperium of Man, especially considering the whole zealous pseudo-religious power-armored paladin thing. But first, let's head into Sean's old bedroom, grab the special book, and put the bonus point into luck so that we can have access to the Scrounger perk. This playstyle is going to involve us using a whole host of automatic weaponry, both rifles and big guns, all of which chew through a ton of ammo, and so for the sake of convenience and in the interest of not running out of bullets, I'm gonna take it. We bang, bang, bang our way through Concord to help out Garvey and co, because, well, really because there's a free set of power armor on top, and it's real hard to emulate a space marine without a set of it. We drop from the skies and take a holy rain of lead to the chaos cultists and the demons which they summon. High off the holy incense of gunsmoke, I agree to help this civilian militiaman with his worries, and single-handedly I cleanse the Corvega facility at Lexington. But it's probably time I went into some details. For the leveling of our Adeptus Astartes, I tried to strike a balance of 3 main dynamics. Combat perks, all of which are related to and benefit our ability to purify the wasteland of Xenos and Chaos alike, crafting perks which allow us to perfect our hallowed weaponry and armor, and finally, some general utility which supports our playstyle. First perk we get at level 2 is Nuclear Physicist, which allows fusion cores to last for 25% longer, and especially in the early game, this is going to yield a ton of benefit because fusion cores are scarce, and we depend on them to exist in a perpetual state of power armor usage. Acquiring the repair bobblehead here at the Corvega facility will also extend this function by a further 10%. I'd advise grabbing this early on. Commando will be our main weapon perk for now, affecting all non-heavy automatic weapons, whereas we will add in a focus on heavy weapons and melee a bit later on. The automatic pipe rifle is going to be our friend, simply because of the abundance of 38 ammo. We also invest in Scrounger, Science, Armorer, and Gun Nut, giving us a base of utility and upgrades to our gear, as well as Life Giver ranks 1 and 2. Each rank adds 20 hit points, which in the early game has the most benefit percentage-wise. Considering that this is on top of a 10 endurance character who wears power armor, one thing can be assured, we are a tanky-ass build, able to take all the punishment that the Emperor demands. After cleaning up Corvega, I pick up a radio frequency and follow it to Cambridge Police Station, assisting in the destruction of the Chaos Mutant hordes assailing it. Here we meet Paladin Dance, leader of a Brotherhood of Steel recon unit. We help him recover technology from ArcJet systems, but to our horror we encounter a swarm of Necrons that arrived before us. We cut them down in a Leadstorm Crusade and a purge of fire, and for our show of skill and valor, we are made an initiate of the Brotherhood. We are gifted a unique laser rifle called Righteous Authority, and we will modify this to make it automatic. This has some really cool synergy with the overdrive chem, which we will use, but more on that later. Time to do some grunt work and prove our worth. We clear some ghouls nearby and then get a new mission to discover the fate of the recon squad that preceded Dancers. We will get to that later, but I want to go to Diamond City and gear up, sell stuff and such. We help these dutiful Imperial Guardsmen fight off a green skin assault, and then we get into Diamond City itself. With business wrapped up, we set out to track down what remains of this Brotherhood squad and recover their tags. I mean, we're tracking down these Astartes to recover their gene seed. While we get to all that messy work, let's talk more about the leveling. Levels 10 through 20, we are building up our base damage as well as introducing melee via big leagues and solar powered, as well as buffing up our crafting capabilities. Also, it is important to grab Nuclear Physicist 2 as soon as possible so we can get the fusion cores lasting 50% longer, 60% longer with the bobblehead we got. It's all straightforward at this point. We track down Brandis, the surprisingly alive member of the original recon squad, but kind of lost the plot. So moving on, we report back to Dance, and now it is time to truly upgrade ourselves. Thanks to the next gen update for Fallout 4, we can get this new quest that involves hunting down Enclave remnants, and the best part is that one of these fellows in the first part of the mission has Enclave Hellfire armor. Despite being very powerful, it also has the look, in my opinion, particularly if you want to emulate a Space Marine in Fallout 4. It is very chunky and has those big pauldrons, and I feel it's the closest to that solid juggernaut look that a Space Marine has, plus you can brand it with some Brotherhood of Steel insignias later on. Now that we have chunk maxed, we should probably go ahead and hunt down Valentine to get the whole main story thing going on. I get distracted by some green skin infestation in Trinity Tower. Sporting the new Hellfire armor, we purge the building and rescue the fellow up top.
Come, show me what passes for fury among your misbegotten kind!
And here you can also get the melee bobblehead, which increases crit damage with melee weapons by 25%, and later on when we start abusing battle enhancing chems like Overdrive, this is going to come in great handy. This was my Hell's Reach. But it's time to swap mutants for mobsters, because I came to clean up the tunnels and break into Vault 114. I managed to find an instigating pipe wrench, not exactly a power sword or thunder hammer, but I suppose it'll do well enough for now. Some may criticize that this is an Astartes from Wish, but look, we don't have the intergalactic budget of an Imperium. We have to fumble our giant hands around in our pockets, passing bottle caps from lint and bobby pins in order to buy a bite to eat, so take it easy on me. It seems orders from High Command have instructed me to purge the Xenos threat, including Italians. Look, I don't make the rules. Todd put the whole bloody cast of Goodfellas between me and the mission objective. Maybe it's a him thing, maybe he has it out for them ever since he slipped on spaghetti in the high school cafeteria, who knows. Hey Valentine, I just wiped out 90% of the living Italian population to get to you. All those lives lost are definitely justified by the noble quest for my son. Man, I can't wait to reunite with him. I just know all the death and destruction leading to that moment will be worth it. Valentine insists that we kill the rest of the Italians. We know who your real boss is. And it's all so tiresome. I'm a cut to the chase. Look at him, Valentine's loving it, just laughing it up. Anyway, so this fella helps us out with the whole Kellogg thing. We follow Dogmeat all the way to Fort Hagen, and what do you know, the place is infested with Necrons. We shoot our way through the tunnels, get to Kellogg, give him the what for, rip out his cyberbrain bits, and leave up the elevator, only to be graced with the most holy sight that I could wish for. Best faction entrance in the games yet. We scuttle on back to the Cambridge police station, only to find it decked out with fellow Space Marines. We all high-five and call each other based. To infinity and beyond, Buzz packs us onto a vertibird, and we head to holy ground. Time to think about how we progress from here. Levels 20 through 30, we are bringing in the enhancements, the extra organs and implants, pumping ourselves with chems such as Psychobuff and Overdrive to keep us hard, holy, and hatred-filled for all things Xeno. We still aren't really getting into heavy weapons just yet, but we will get chem resistant 1 and 2, making us immune to addictions, which is convenient for the playstyle, which ramps up chem usage, but it still ain't stopping us from getting addicted to the grind. We get Nuclear Physicist 3 at level 26, and it's gonna grant us 100% more usage from fusion cores. At this point, you'll forget to even think about them, as you burn through far less of them. It's safe to say that at this point, you can permanently live in your power armor without worry. I listened to an epic monologue by our Emperor. Elder Maxon, and I get promoted tonight. Time to team up with Dance and begin our crusade against the Institute.
I want you to head over there, wipe out everything that moves, and secure that stockpile. Understood?
Consider it done. I'm in your sight.
Die! Ah! My fury burns hotter!
Our assault on Fort Strong is progressing well, landing zone is free of greenskins, time to get inside, clear the Xenos, and secure the stockpiled nuclear arsenal. Paladin Dance takes this opportunity to explain why super mutants are cucked greentards who must be cleansed by the forces of the based Empire. I report back to Maxon, but I suppose we better follow up with the whole Nick Valentine investigation business and get my ass to the memory den. Time to track down this Virgil fellow, and hey, we know the Institute uses teleportation to get in and out. Plus, they have my son. Well, me and Dance are going to take a long walk into the glowing sea, purging what we can where we can on the way. It's a radioactive wasteland, like those that surround the hive cities, filled with mutant monstrosities. However, coming here has a dual purpose. We need to find this Virgil guy, yeah, but the second part of the Enclave Remnants quest is also here in the glowing sea, and so we are going to make our valiant charge against these Chaos Space Marines. We wipe them all out, grab ourselves another set of Hellfire armor for Dance, and we get the Tesla Cannon. The Tesla Cannon is a great heavy weapon, and it reminds me of a las cannon wielded by a Devastator squad, so we are most certainly going to be using this, just need to buff up our heavy weapon perks soon. Speaking of which, levels 30 through 40 are going to be spent rounding out some extra ranks of our previous perks. The ones we were working on, like Chemist and Gun Nut, but also we'll be getting 4 ranks of Heavy Gunner, so now we can start utilizing some serious destruction with an expanded arsenal. We also start improving our agility a bit, getting us more action points and access to Action Boy for later. Our high endurance and optimized servos in our power armor legs affords us some great sprinting, despite the fact we are in a multi-ton suit of armor, and agility will help our maneuverability even further by affording us a larger action point pool. Anyways, we track down Virgil and listen to his spiel, tolerating his greenness for the sake of the mission. He tells us we gotta hunt down a Corsair and grab his chip, and we will, but we've got some crusading to do. First off, we're going to want to head to the mass fusion tower in the city, clear it of all gunners, flex the might of the Astartes, and acquire the strength bobblehead from up top before level 33 so that we can get 5 strength and therefore invest into heavy gunner. You could, if you wanted to, play this Space Marine a little more efficiently by cutting out a weapon type, say, sticking to melee and heavy gunner only. In that case, I wouldn't have bothered with Scrounger and the special book in luck, probably put it in agility instead, or strength if you wanted to access heavy gunner from the get-go, but that's a harder path. But in my defense, I wanted to be able to use a large arsenal so that I could emulate all the weaponry of the Space Marines, including las cannons, melter guns, bolters, chainswords, and so on. But I'm just going to cut to the chase. Let's snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. We are back at Valentine's office because Mr. Dance and I are becoming detectives, heading off to Far Harbor for a very particular reason.
Valentine's Detective Agency. You asked for help?
Oh, thank God. You have to get working right away.
If your daughter is a synth, Mrs. Nakano, then she's an abomination. Technology run amok.
But my daughter isn't a synth.
This is what I was afraid of. Someone twisting my daughter's mind.
We arrive at Far Harbor, atmosphere maxing, and we get roped into defending the populace from Salamander Notagekos, and this mutant filth is no match for us Angels of Death. We get a bloke called Longfellow to take us to the Synth refuge, cleansing the Isle one step at a time. We find an insane Chaos worshipper, get to the top of the mountain, oof, beautiful sunshine, and then we find Dima, some Necron overlord giving off rancid vibes.
We have plenty to say about synths. How dangerous they are.
We're not dangerous.
I find Kasumi Nakano, and even she thinks Dima is sus. I guess I can look into it. I do a little bit of work here and there for the townsfolk of Far Harbor, and I come across a greenskin in a crashed plane.
Die, you scum!
Like hell!
I clear some ghouls out and get to Echo Lake Lumber, and this is the real reason why we are here, because after we exterminate the mutants, we will be able to get our way to the top, open the chest, and find this brilliant little weapon called the Ripper, and this legendary one in particular is called the Harvester, which has a chance to stagger on hit. This is a great weapon for stun locking, and it's as close to a chainsword as we're going to get. The vibes in first person are on point, up close and gory, but In third person, it kind of does look like a butter knife in our huge hands. I promise it looks this way just because my hands are so big. Like if it was in your hands, I'm sure it'd look like massive. Anyways, as we get to level 41, we will unlock Science rank 4, and having unlocked Armorer rank 4 at 39, we can build ourselves a jetpack. Time to go full Assault Marine mode. Well, kinda. I'm still using heavy weapons, rifles and stuff, but the point is, we can fly. We go around taking this Tesla cannon for a test run, all upgraded and sexy, swapping out an AoE damage type for an enemy chain lightning strike. We give all this new gear a little test drive as we head south to the wreck of the Northern Star so that we can grab ourselves the Agility bobblehead. This will bring our agility to 5 in total, allowing us to begin investing in Action Boy at levels 43 through 45, bringing our action point regen up by 75%, helping us with VATS, sprint, and flight, because using the jetpack costs that AP. And as for the rest of the levels between then and 50, we're going to be focusing on capping off the rest of our perks like Heavy Gunner 5, Commando 5, Gun Nut 4, and Chemist 4. Speaking of which, we are going to want to abuse the hell out of Psycho Buff. It's a combination of Psycho and Buff Out, boosting our strength and endurance by +3, as well as boosting our max HP by 65 and our damage by 25%. But also, we'll want to be making ourselves some Overdrive, which requires 2 Acid, a Nuka-Cola, and a Psycho, put together in a chem station, resulting in a chem which boosts damage by 25% and gives a 25% chance for a critical hit outside of VATS. And considering we have lots of automatic, rapid hit weapons like the Harvester and our automatic arsenal, these crits will proc a lot. And if you manage to get a weapon with the lucky legendary effect like Righteous Authority, each crit will do double damage, so pump those chems. Anyways, having abandoned the backwater known as Far Harbor, I return with my baby chainsword and inform Captain Kells of the Synth refuge. He kinda just tells me that we can do that whole thing later, and I say agreed. In the meantime, I chose to help him investigate missing supplies instead. I follow this super sus Clark guy into the depths of the airport terminals, slay a bunch of ghouls, and what do you know, we have a traitor.
Yes. It's been working, too.
You've been stealing from the Brotherhood to feed these abominations. That's unforgivable.
Then do what you have to do.
Well, high five Dan, it's a job well done. Time to go find this Corsa and fight our way through a ton of gunners to get to the supposed Super Necron up top. We kill the Columbine Corsa and take his MK Ultra brain chip.
Who might?
Right.
They're called the Railroad.
Looks like we're headed to the Railroad, super spooky secret society, a cabal of ideologues with too much time on their hands.
Yeah, we're all friends now. Let's skip to the part where you help me.
I don't know if I like your attitude.
Des, we need to let him in. He's got an intact Courser chip, for God's sake.
We got the signal code we needed from these quacks underground, and then we return to the cooperative greenskin Virgil. He tells us what we need to do to get inside the Institute, we tell Maxon, and then we get to work. But I'll spare you the tedium. We built the molecular thingy-majig.
Absolutely. I'm ready to go.
Your confidence is an inspiration to us all.
Stay safe, soldier!
For over 100 years, we've dedicated ourselves to humanity's survival.
Oh, come on! That's crazy.
I assure you, I am completely sane and entirely honest.
Collateral damage? She was murdered.
Killed? Yes. Murdered? I'm not so sure about that. You may have safe passage back to the relay where you will be sent back to the surface. But from that point, you must be considered hostile. I am sorry.
Well, hi son, bye son. Now we know where these guys are. Time to build a big-ass robot to break into that joint. The Adeptus Mechanicus are hard at work reconstructing a Titan known as Liberty Prime. And of course, we're gonna help. We find a scientist that knows the right things, do a little busy work building parts, and now we gotta go find him a nuclear arsenal. We blow our way through any demons or mutant filth and arrive at the Sentinel site. We purge the facility of chaos, including their cultists, and we secure the stockpile.
Elder Maxon's orders were quite clear. I'm not to take my eyes off these bombs until every one of them has been counted, tested, and loaded.
The Titan has awoken. This ancient machine shall crack a hole into the Institute and allow us to cleanse the Commonwealth with a holy crusade. For the Emperor! I mean, Elder, Brotherhood, whatever. I just want to kill shit. Little did I know the Inquisition was suspecting me, and Maxon put me through the ringer. After getting him to trust in my loyalty, I am instructed to eliminate my good old pal Paladin Dance, because as it turns out, he is a Necron wearing human skin. Time to track down this traitor.
I'm not surprised Maxon sent you. He never liked to do the dirty work himself.
I wish you would have told me the truth, Dance.
I might have, if I'd known what I was. Until Quinlan got that list decoded, I thought synths were the enemy. I never expected to hear that I was one of them. So, what are your orders? Does Maxon even want me alive?
Of course not. Synths are the enemy, remember?
All too well. Look, I'm not blind to the fact that we're good friends, and this must be very difficult for you. I wish Maxon had sent someone else, but that doesn't change a thing. I'm a synth, which means I need to be destroyed. If you disobey your orders, you're not only betraying Maxon, you're betraying the Brotherhood of Steel and everything it stands for. Synths can't be trusted. Machines were never meant to make their own decisions. They need to be controlled. Technology that's run amok is what brought the entire world to its knees, and humanity to the brink of extinction. I need to be the example, not the exception.
I see you've calculated all the variables, just like a machine.
Your anger simply proves my point. I'm ready to accept the consequences of my true identity. Maxon's ordered you to execute me, and I'll be damned if I'm going to stand in your way.
If it needs to be done, then so be it.
I've never been prouder of you than I am right now, brother. It's been a pleasure serving with you.
Ad Victorium, brother.
Well, that was sad, but mission complete and a promotion for me too. I'm a paladin now. We're nearly there. Time for the final moment of glorious Crusade. But first we gotta get rid of those railroad fellows. Time to rip out their bleeding hearts. Also, since Dance is now dead, we can talk about the perks. At level 50, you may have noticed that I suggest we add a point into Charisma. Well, this is because combined with the Charisma bobblehead, which we'll get later, though you can get early if you need it, we will have access to the Lone Wanderer perk, which can be utilized since Dance is dead. Statistically, with all 4 ranks, we will be gaining 30% reduction from all damage, 25% more damage done, and 25 more action points. Big buffs for us. As you can see, we also boost our agility and invest in moving target. But look, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm just showing you the plan. We still got work to do. After we've successfully cleaned up the railroad, we get a new directive. We've got to stop the Necrons from getting the beryllium reactor we need for the Titan. Cue the music.
You might want to hang on, sir. The drop can be a little rough.
Probability of Chinese victory. Impossible.
The Titan walks, holy machinery sanctifying the ground on which it steps.
Embrace democracy, or you will be eradicated. Obstruction detected. Every red-blooded American now will fall.
Once we reach our target, you'll need this. It's a fusion pulse charge. Attach it to the reactor, and it can be detonated remotely from a safe distance. It will be more than enough to annihilate the Institute in its entirety.
We're inside the Institute, time to recite the litanies as I purge the Xenos. Where there is uncertainty, I shall bring light. Where there is doubt, I shall sow faith. Where there is shame, I shall point atonement. Where there is rage, I shall show its course. My word in the soul shall be as my bolter in the field.
I didn't expect to see you again. I don't suppose you're here because you've changed your mind.
I'm here to blow up your reactor, Sean. Put an end to the Institute.
Well, at least there's no need for guessing games now. It's not enough that I lay here dying. Now you plan on what? Destroying everything?
I did it for the people of the Commonwealth.
You truly have become one of us, brother. The Institute has been wiped clean from the face of our world. It's time we close this chapter on the Commonwealth and begin one anew.
It is done. Crusade Institutus is complete, and I have been granted the rank of Sentinel. I think it's time I deserve an upgrade. You know what I'm talking about. Time to go off script. No more canon. We're getting some mods. I, Sigismund of the Imperial Fists, swear to rid the Commonwealth of any and all Xenos, Psychers, or Chaos filth. Let's go ahead and help this Mr. Cabot fellow.
We need to get to my office. Trouble. Keep going.
Psst. We also get the charisma bobblehead here.
He also commands a kind of local telekinesis, which appears to be projected by the artifact itself.
Seems like there is an unchecked psycho, one attuned to the will of Zinch.
Sorry, Father. I did everything I could to avoid this. I believe I was close to finding a way to remove the artifact. Liar!
Psycho eliminated. You know what? I don't trust any of them. Time to go full Templar mode. Oh, and I haven't forgotten about Far Harbor. We can lend a hand to the people first, cleanse the Isle of some chaos demons. See, it's a big mutalith vortex beast, sans the vortex. Kinda. Maybe. Who cares? It's ugly as hell. I return to Arcadia. I interrogate the Necron Overlord about his secret plans for domination. He copes. I leave, but I will be back. I head to the wreck of some old ship to find extra bits and bobs for the Mariner so she can fortify the hull of Far Harbor, and I come across this beauty of a gun, a never-ending handmade automatic rifle. Now, the ammo is going to be hard to come by without a trip to Nuka World, but we'll hang on to this for now and put it through its paces later. We continue our crusade across the fog-shrouded Isle until eventually we come across an enclave of chaos cultists.
Just let me in and we won't have any problems.
That's not happening. Only those chosen by Adam may enter.
Slay the Nurgle worshippers. I perform a one-man crusade of these Nurglite filth-felchers and make our way to the secret backrooms. No, unfortunately not the cool existential dread type backrooms, all atmospheric and eerie. Instead, well, we gotta do this shit. Let me spare you the record of my torment and skip to the part where I've acquired all I must have. Turns out, surprise surprise, Dima is a hack and a bad dude. With some further investigation, it turns out he's been playing Institute on his own little island, doing a game of Synth replacement in order to guide the fate of Far Harbor to his own whims. He has to answer for this. Well, I get sidetracked and show off my fighting chops for the people of Far Harbor by killing a Mylurk queen, and then I link up with Brotherhood forces so we can be done with this farce.
We're clear. Let's move out.
With a holy chainsword in hand, I cleanse the Arcadian Temple of Necrons, as is the holy will of the God Emperor Maxon. Yeah, I totally forgot about Kasumi. A little unfortunate collateral, I suppose. Well, Far Harbor is a better place now, but an Astartes work is never done. I'll spare you the grinding of Nuka World, but it's time to take that handmade rifle with a never-ending legendary effect and put it to use. Yes, you are witnessing a Black Templar with an AK-47 put in the work. It's not the tools that make the soldier, it's the zealous hatred of the enemy. Leveling beyond 60, I pumped more points into strength, bringing it to 10, if merely for the perk Pain Train, but you can do whatever you think best. As you can see, you can be transformed into a true Angel of Death, eternal soldier of the Imperium, filled with zeal for the Emperor.